Hi guys, welcome to a new tutorial from Produce WFX School. Today I'd like to work on something that is really nice. Some days ago I posted an image and it was something about what we can create in 20 minutes with Clarice. It is something that is born during some R&D phase I was working on preparing a new course about isotropic Clarice. So I was playing with creators and I was playing with animation about a T-Rex model. So I decided to prepare something for you to show how the Clarice speed and the interactivity can help you to create something in a really fast way and to decide in an interactive way how to assemble a scene without any planning before. So something really fast just to have some idea and something like a brainstorm using Clarice. So the model I was using is this one. You can find it over TurboSquid. It is really nice. It's for 3ds Max. There is a rig, so you have a rig structure to animate the model. Model is not bad, I have to say. So you have the texture and it is really nice. So we have the model in 3ds Max. That's the model. So there is an animation, but we are not going to use the animation because it's not important for us. So we are going to directly export everything to our ABC. So in 3ds Max, the next part is to play with layers, and so there you have just to pick the model, and essentially we have that models and we have the body, and that's all. You have just to export the thing, and you can go directly inside export selected, and then you go to use the name with the ABC, and then you have just to write the name. Let's say, for example, we go for test, and you can decide if you like to export just a single frame or entire animation, and then leave everything by default. Okay, so let's move in Clarice to start playing with the scene. Okay guys, we have the model. I have just a model imported there because I had to fix a little bit of things related to the scaling. So we get to have a new model, and this one will be a grid, and the grid will be used to create the terrain. So this one is the terrain. We go to have it bigger, so let's say 60 meters, and then let's say that we have 20 lifespans all around. And then about the model there, we need to work. You see that's the area over the top. I don't like to have it. So then we go to have something more, and it is essentially having the subdivision surface, and we go higher. Let's say maybe let's go really high, so the quality of the model will be high enough. And then we go to have the displays. To create the displays there, we say we go to create there new displacement and apply. Then we go to pick this one. We scaled the model, so let's give us enough space to create the displacement, and then there let's go for a map file. This one is the displace skin. We go to pick the texture. So in the downloads folder where you have everything, let's go for the displays. Let's say that that's the raw data, and we have to use the luminance. We go to connect. It is working on the the model. And then let's say that we like to have more. Let's go higher. And then we go a little bit inside with the front offset, let's say -0.5. Okay, that's done. I'm just moving near the Dino model. Let's say that that's our new camera. and this one is the camera render. And in the layer we say that the background is using the camera render when it goes to render this scene. So then in the image, let's go directly in the image view. It'll be really fast to play over it. Let's go to create, sorry, the right there, the context. Let's say that that's lights. Okay, and we go for sun and the IBL. So lighting, IBL, we go to use one texture and using a for another curse, just to show you something interesting. So let's say there and there. It is loading. Okay, we go to rotate this one because I like to have more lighting on the other side. Then we go to have higher sampling, and then we go to have higher lighting. Done. Then let's go to have more energy using also a sunlight. So light, physical, distant. So we can set this one to off, the IBL. We have just a distance. Let's say that we move it with the S key there, and then let's say that we have a nicer color, maybe just a little bit. Let's say it's 0.5 for the angle, and there we can go lower. Let's say okay, and let's go to rotate the lighting because in the HDR map we have the sun coming from the other side. Sorry. Let's do it manually, so let's go for -30, 140, and 160. Okay, we have something that can works. And then about the sampling a little bit more, and we need a little bit more energy too, so let's go to 2.5, and then we go back to have the lighting too. Done. So let's go to have a connection between Clarice and Megascans. So it is working, it is opening the connection. Then we go there. Let's say that we like to use this material, so export. It is done. Okay, it's done. We have the material there, so let's go to pick this one. It is assigned. It is loading everything, so we have just to, let's select everything and press L. Okay, we have the custom color. We have just to scale this one. Let's say 01, 01, and 01. It is called twirling. The UV is still too big. Let's say 001, 001, 001. Okay, so it should be enough. We have a big scaling about the dinosaur. So we go to have a new context here. This one will be about the materials. So let's say materials, and we go to create a new material. It will be a standard one, so standard, and that's the skin. So we pick back the body and the body as a material, and we say that we go to use this one. Perfect. So I like to have scattering. Let's say that it's not so much, and then let's say that we have a higher roughness over the reflectivity, but we like to have a bigger IRR there, and then we like to have a wet coloring with less roughness but a bigger IRR. So we have a nice specularity there. And then let's start picking the texture. So let's say that we go for a texture map file. That's the skin diffuse. We go to pick the texture. In the folder where we have the downloads, texture, color body, that's connected to the right one. Then we go for a blend. And let's go to have also a new one. That's the specularity. We go to pick the right texture. Is this one. We go to connect to the specular strength. So you see that it's reflecting just over some area. Okay. And then let's go to have this one. And then we go to have a constant color. Constant color will be reddish. So we go to simulate some kind of scattering. So let's say that the first one, the second one, we go to use the screen. Let's say 10%, and that's the diffuse scattering color. So we have just one step to have the final material. We need the normal maps, obviously. So we have to take care about it. So we go for the normal maps. So let's say that we go to use this one, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. That's the normal. And we go to have a normal. Everything is connect. And we go to say that's the raw data. And we go to choose the right texture. Okay, the dinosaur is essentially partially done. We have the right materials and we have the scattering, so it is starting to work in the right way. Okay, let's get to find maybe a better camera position there. Let's do it directly in 3D, so it's faster. This one is not bad. Okay, set to pose. Let's go there. Let's have a little bit more space. Let's go for the ambient occlusion. Okay, so let's go to create something about the environment. So Control Shift, and there we go for the environment. And there we need to play with the scattering. Let's go to create a scope to have essentially plants and other stuff just where we are. So using the S key, let's say that it is there, and let's say it's a sphere, and it is maybe 20, 20, and 20. So it's an area of 20 centimeters. So let's go to create the geometry, point cloud. That's the point cloud, the first point cloud. Let's say that this one is the point cloud for plants. And we get to use the model, the grid, and we need a number, and say that we have, let's say, 100,000 points all around. Let's go for a new scatterer, and this one will be the scatterer for plants, and we have to merge some plants inside Clarice using again bridge. Let's go to find something. So let's go in 3D plants. Let's say that we go for fern, and we go to pick this one, the common fern, export. Then let's go to have also this one. Let's see whatever else we can use there. I don't like anything. Maybe we can pick something around Let's go for 3D plants. And let's go down. We can go for this one. And then let's see. It's one. So we go to have enough plants inside to have something interesting. Will be obviously a little bit slower than 20 minutes, you know, but we are going to choose stuff. And let's go to have also this one. Okay, so we should have enough plants there. You see that we have a lot. The plants can be used inside the scattering, so we say just that, you know, there, this one and this one are not visible to the camera and to the rays. Let's go to remove this one, and both use the other shader, and this one is double. It needs a little bit of love to prepare the stuff, you know, so that's why we are going a little bit slower. By the way, it's not a problem, so you know that maybe we have 30 minutes, but the stuff will be done in a really lower amounts of time. And let's go to the open subdivision. We have to do the same for the other, so let's pick everything. Okay, and we pick both, and we say to use the other material. Let's go to have the subdivision, and then in the material we say that this one is double, and then about the normal we say to use the raw data, and we do the same for the other. If you like, you can play with some more complex shader. You know, you can, for example, add the translucency. Actually, I'm not working on something like that, but you can do it without any problem. Raw data, and then the shader needs to be double. Okay, let's do the same for the others. Again, sorry. Okay, let's choose the right material. Let's say that we have a little bit of tessellation. Let's go to the material. The material is double, and then the normal is raw data, so we need just to play with the last one. Subdivision, let's say 2, then we choose the right material. I prefer this one. Now let's go to the material, let's say that's double, and then the normal is raw data. All the plants needs to be, as we done before, not visible to the camera and to rays. That's just about the visualization for this one. The scattering obviously will be visible all around. Okay, done. So let's go in the environment. So let's say that we go to scatter these plants. So the point cloud is this one, and let's go to add everything we have there. We are doing something really fast, but if you like, you can have obviously the possibility to take care about how many plants and variation are you using. Okay, so if we go there, let's play with the preview. It's loading everything. You see that the plants are really big, so we need to take care about it. So let's stop. So let's start with various plants. So let's go in the tropical one. You see we are selecting the tropical palm, and that's really big. So let's go for, let's say 25. So 25% the scaling we have at the moment. Let's go to the other one. And let's say maybe this one half because it's not so big. Let's go to the next one. This is big enough. So let's say 25 as we done for the palm. Let's do the same for the next one because you see they are a little bit big. Sorry. Let's go to the next one. They are big, so let's say just 0, 1. I like to prepare something with a strange scaling. Okay, so you see that now it's obviously working in a better way because we have a nice scaling inside the scene. Okay, I like to add some trees around. We don't see the trees, but it will be useful to have some shadows. So back in the environment, let's go to have a new point cloud. So geometry, point clouds, and this one is the point clouds trees. Okay, so first of all, let's say that this one is using the scope. So we can say inside the materials to create a new texture utility scope. And this one is saying that we have to use just the one that are inside the scope we created before. So just inside the environment there. Okay, back there, it needs to be obviously tweaked. So we can do two things. We can go there and say that we are going to use the inside out. So we have plants just there. Let's go to use a new reference. We go for a tree. Okay, this one is an alembic for a tree. And that's really good, but it needs a little bit of love. So let's go to have a combiner just to play with this geometry as the other geometry we have there. So let's say that that's the combiner tree, and inside the combiner we have the tree we just picked. Okay, so you see that we have everything inside. So in this way, if you like, you can go there and say, for example, that for the barks you like to have the subdivision surface. You can do it. Let's say 1 can be enough. Now it is working on the model. You see it's not bad. And then if you like, you can have a little bit also for the foliage. So the foliage will have a nicer model. Let's say maybe -2. So it's better than before. We don't need texture for this model because we are going to use this one just for essentially to play in the environment, just to create shadows. Everything that is inside needs to be obviously set to not visible to the camera, so we have no problem during rendering. And then we are going to use the combiner inside our scattering. So inside the environment, let's go to create a new scatterer. Sorry, not a combiner. This one will be a scatterer, and this one will be for trees. We have to choose how many how many trees we have inside our scene, but we need a really low amount. So let's get to use the right model, and then let's say maybe just 60 trees. Let's go to pick this one and say that we go to use the point cloud trees, and then we go to have just the combiner tree. Let's go in the rendering, and we should have something that needs to be tweaked because we have this tree visible there. So let's set to pose. So let's go over the combiner, and we have to say the same. It's not visible to camera and rays, and then it works. So we have some shadows around done by the trees, and that's enough. So we have essentially now to add maybe some debris over the terrain, and then we have just to play a little bit more with the shadow of the dinosaur. So let's stop, and we go to create inside the environment a new point cloud. So geometry, point cloud, let's say point cloud debris. Let's go in the 3D view, and just for a moment let's pick both and Ctrl D to make it not visible. So then let's go to have this one, let's say to use the terrain as we done for the other, and let's say that we have 3 millionths, okay, points, so it's really huge. And the decimation is done always again by the texture scope we created before. Okay, we have again to pick stuff from bridge. So in the 3D assets, we go for the bridge, and we go to pick some stuff. We can pick, for example, let's say that we like something like this one, export, and then I like to have something like this one, export. Then we can have something bigger like this one. It needs to, okay, it's export. Now let's go for this one, and let's see if we have something inside the stone. Let's get to have maybe in the rock. We can have, for example, this one. And if you like, you can have also this one. So we have some variation. Okay, everything is done. You see that we have everything inside 3D assets. So there we have the mossy debris, and stuff like that. So we have just to create a new scatter. But before, I like to go there and say that this one is available. And over the plants, I like to make some variation. Let's go with a basic probability, but we go to have a rotation variance 360, 5 degree, 5 degree, let's say 45 for the variance there, and maybe 1 degree over the other axis. And about the scaling, let's say 0.3 for the variation, and let's say that the step is just 0.1, 0.1 and 0.1. Okay, so we have enough variation. Let's go to create a new scatter as we done before, and this one is the scatter debris. We can remove again this one, and the scatter debris will be based on the PC debris, and then we go to add everything. So again, if you like, you can create something more complex, playing with the materials there, playing with the models, playing with our probability, but it is just to show you how you can create something amazing just using the model we have there. You see that it's taking care about the environment in a really fast way, and we are adding a lot of models. So then we have the rocks and the other rocks. Okay, if we go to render, it should be, you see, it needs a little bit of love to load everything. It is loading all the texture. We are using the basic model created by the Kixel team. So you see that we have the breeze all over, and we have also some kind of rocks all around. So let's have back the plants and the trees, and we have just to play with the materials there, but before we can essentially see a bigger render. So that's the result. You see, that's really nice. We have just to take care about the eyes, the tongue, and the tooth, and that's all. So let's go essentially to select this area where we have the tongue. Okay, and we go in the materials. So materials, let's go to create a new one. New material. Let's go for a standard one, and this one will be the tongue. Now we need a little bit more space, and let's say that we go to select the skin, then we pick the tongue, just to have essentially the same maps we are using there. So because we have everything over the same, so let's say that that's the strength there, and let's say that that's the diffuse for the diffuse, and then the normal for the normal. And then we have essentially just to pick the body and say that there we go to use the materials tongue, and that's done. We have just to take care about the materials because it needs a little bit of love, because it's a little bit different than the other we were using. So let's say that we have the scattering, and we go to have it with a lower scale, let's say 4 centimeters, and then let's go to have a different kind of shading for the tongue. Okay, so then let's say that we have a lower another reflectivity over the second layer, but we have also an higher Fresnel, and then we say that we have another wet reflectivity with a lower specularity, something like 20 for the strength and maybe 5 for the roughness, and we can leave the default value for the others. So you see that we have this kind of color. Then let's tweak a little bit the path tracer to have more bounciness. Let's try with 3, so we have more bounces over the color, and also about the reflection. And let's say that the maximum with all layers is enough, maybe 6. So that's all. We have to take care about the tooth. Maybe we can use the same, so let's go in the material because they are really similar, and let's rename tooth. So there we can select this one and say to use the same. So we have the scattering over there too. Okay guys, the image is essentially ready to be rendered, and I mean we take something around, give me the time to check Camtasia. We are talking about 25 minutes, but we had to tweak a little bit the materials we had over the Pixel Megascan, because you know it took a little bit to make some tweaks. We have to work on the eyes. That's just maybe the last part I didn't play it. So let's go there, and let's say that this one is bigger. Okay, and then we have to work on the shader. We have just to take care about the scattering and just reflection and stuff like that. So let's go again there, and let's say that we have a new material standard, and that's the IDX, and we go to create this material, but again it will be really simple. Let's pick this one, and we say that we go to use material IDX, and then the material will need to be tweaked just a little bit. Let's say that we have a map, so texture map file, and that's the diffuse. We go to connect to the front color, and the map is something I just downloaded. So let's go there and choose in downloads. It needs to be tweaked to stay in the right position because it was not done for this one. So let's say that we go for a mapping spherical, then we say that we use the other axis, we go to use the x-axis for the alignment, and then we say fit to bounding box, and inside there we get to pick one of the eyes. Okay, and then we have just to rotate, let's say 75 and 80. Okay, we have the right position. And you know, you have to do the same material for the other side. It needs nothing special. Let's say just maybe that we have an eye reflectivity, so let's say that it's 100%, but it is really low, the roughness. It is wet, so we go a little bit higher with the IRR, and then we go to have also a little bit of scattering, but let's go low there, let's say 2 centimeters. And about the color, let's go for something like a greeny color, maybe not so much greeny. And we can just adjust a little bit the tiling. So let's say that we go to scale it 2 times over there, so you see that the repetition is better. And you have to do the same, assigning this one to the left and checking just the position for the texture. By the way, you know, we don't need it at the moment because it is not so important. Just to make something more complex, if you like, you can take care about the bumping over the tongue, and if you like, you can add another level of bumping over the dinosaur skin, but this is not so important. It depends on the level of quality you like to have in output. By the way, you see that's good enough for the final rendering. Let's use the maximum refinement, so it will be faster if you are going to use, for example, depth of field or stuff like that. And then let's go to have in the sampling, let's go 32 for the material sampling count, and then we go to have maybe a little bit for the glossy reflection, you know, because we have some glossy reflection all over the scene. Let's say that we have double for the global illumination, and then we say 4 times for the glossy reflection, and then also more about the subsurface, because we have a lot of subsurface all around. And then you have just to say, okay, please render the final one. We can do a fast preview at 001. The final one you can render at 0.005. Let's wait for the final render. So guys, that's done. You see that's a really nice preview. Obviously there are some stuff we can do to add more quality. As you know, we can play with the skin. For example, we can add more layer for the bumping. We can do the same for the tongue, for example. And if you like, you can play with the scattering, because actually it is not taking care about where we have the T-Rex model, but we can create a more complex decimation with, for example, the ambient occlusion. So where we are near the geometry of the T-Rex, we have no plants. It works just for a still frame, obviously, because if we have the animation, we have to take care about the animation in a different way with the scattering, because we need, for example, dynamic plants and some more kind of visual effects. You can do more stuff over the bumping for the tongue shader too, because actually it's using just the normal map we have together with the model, but you can add some layer, for example, using cellular maps. And that's all, guys. Then you can find the best lighting. If you like to change a little bit the lighting, you can play with the look dev, for example, in compositing, or if you like, you can go there in the path tracer and you can play a little bit with the tone mapping to play with the coloring. And if you like, you can add also, a LUT file there to have a different look. And that's all, guys. It is something, explaining the video takes a little bit more, and it takes a little bit to fix some stuff I found over the plants and the model coming with Megascan. But doing from zero this kind of project is really fast. So maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes now that you know how to play with it. Okay guys, thanks for watching. We'll see more tutorials next month over the lab from Produce VFX School. Bye bye.